What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy KiteZz here with my lovely wife. It's just Alex.
What's up, peoples?
And we're here with the lovely Flock for the people that were able to attend the first episode of Flock Talk. Shout out to everybody here. As you guys can see, we have the active chat. We have 9 wonderful people in the audience that decided that they were going to take some time out of their day just to chill with us, come talk with us. A lot of people say they got a lot to say about these pop the balloon things. So here's the platform for people to say what they want to say, right? So first things first, I'm going to start it off with. But before that, Alex, you got anything you want to say?
No, I thank y'all for being here.
Okay, cool. Right. Before we begin anything, thank you guys. All glory to God. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you guys to everybody that attended. Also, thank you guys to everybody who's constantly commenting, subscribing, showing love to the page. It does help us a lot, actually, more than y'all know. All right. Anyway, so main thing that we talk about today, first thing, I'm gonna start it off that way everybody can get their little feelers out till we get comfortable doing this more often. We had Pop the Balloon episode 28. Now this episode was actually the return of a group of men that everybody deemed was the best male lineup in Pop the Balloon. All these dudes kind of got hold in their situation. A lot of the women were popping them over superficial things like you're not tall enough, or initial attraction, and initial attraction, which I still feel like is a cop out in anything. Initial attraction doesn't change anything, but they got their return. Now in that initial episode, which was episode 23, nobody got a match. All the men basically came out there, they got butchered, and then they got thrown out. But this episode, these men came back, but this time they had the balloon in their hand, and it turned out that they had 5 matches, which is the tie for the most matches in an episode. I think it's like episode 13 or 9 also has 5 matches. So I have the question that anybody can answer real quick. I just want to know, so now that we've seen how these men broke it down and they came out, they had a second appearance and they ended up matching. The real question of that episode, who really was the problem in that episode? Was it the ladies, or was it really the guys, and maybe the guys just got lucky this time? Because I feel like everybody's pretty skewed. Everybody doesn't feel like the women got a fair speak. So Duty Mac, you the first one to raise your hand, so I'm gonna invite you up, man. You just have to accept it and you can come up. Can you fast forward to a picture of all the men?
Oh yeah, my bad. I said, what episode we talking about now?
This is the last one that just happened, episode 28.
Oh, we talking about this episode.
Yes,
and your
sir.
question is, what is your question again? Remind me again. What is it?
The question was, now that we've seen all these men come back a second time, is it right? Who was the real problem of episode 23? Was it the ladies that were the problem, or was it these gentlemen that was the problem?
Okay. I see what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, that episode 23, I'm personally, and I think everybody here would agree with me, I'm not a fan of the episode. I don't like how it turned out. It was a very ugly episode. I even said in the comment section of Arlen's episode that was probably one of the worst ones. But anyway, to answer your question, it was the women. And I'm not even trying to do the whole men versus women thing. That's a tired trope that needs to die. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. Yep. Man, when I tell you, I detest logging into anything, because at some point in time, some post is gonna make a reference to it. I just can't get away from it. But anyway, looking back at that episode, looking at the recap of when the men gave their perspective and when the women gave their perspective, the women were in the wrong. And I'm gonna just give you the concise answer as to why. The men gave their perspective about the women as they all came out. They didn't know them from a can of paint. They talking about what happened before they made the group chat.
Right.
Before. Right. They didn't call them out their name. They didn't say they were uninterested. They didn't say none of that. All they said was, well, damn, I came out here, I just, just impressed. So I got popped on, I was a little perturbed at what they said, you know what I'm saying? It's an honest to God reaction.
Right.
They took that talking about the women, they took that as, oh, I thought we was friends, but now we sneak dissing. This what we doing? I thought everything was cool, and now but you said I was suspect, because women, and this is all just perspective speaking.
Oh yeah, we adults here. We adults here. We know.
Oh yeah, okay.
Don't be offended by somebody's opinion. Yeah, we adults here, man. Don't be offended by somebody's opinion.
I appreciate that.
Right.
I appreciate that. Women, women, a lot of times, they feed off of vanity, right?
Okay.
And that goes. There's a whole rabbit hole conversation we can have about that another time. But they feed off of vanity, and what I mean by that is, it's either my way or the highway. It's either we gonna get along or we not. It's either you gonna agree with what I say, you gonna go with my forum, or we gonna have a problem.
Okay.
You can't have no opinion over here. This is my shit. Okay? You don't get to say, oh, I'm not gonna steal you not gonna steal my shit from me today. No, you don't get to do that. So when they heard their perspective, even though they gave their perspective beforehand,
Right.
they took that as disrespect. Oh, this is black women not being protected, or all this other nonsense. And it's like, bruh, they gave their honesty. It kills me with that. I'm sorry if I'm long with it, but it kills me with that. Why is it women get their perspective? We gotta shut up and we gotta be docile. We gotta accept that. Men get their perspective. Oh no, what gives you that right? Who do you think you are? Why you get to feel that way? Bro, I'm just giving you my take. Like, if you gave your take, I'm giving my take. It wasn't no beef, it wasn't no harm, wasn't none of that. So when they gave their response to them, when BM and Arlette was talking to them, and they just showed they learned absolutely nothing. When they said, you gonna come back on the show? Nah, I ain't like my experience. You gonna come back on the show? Nah, I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the. Please don't come back. Please don't. Please don't. Allow all the people who gonna actually come on here, try to find romance, try to find a husband or wife, whatever the case may be. Let them come on here and let us have a good time. I'm so tired of drama. I'm so tired of the cattiness. I'm so tired of these piss poor reactions to trying to set up a date, especially that last Catchup with Alicia and what's my man's name? The bald-headed dude.
Yeah. Hold on, I got you.
Yeah,
right
I can't remember his name right now.
Yep, I got you right here.
I'm not even taking the. Man,
Alicia, Ramon.
Yeah,
Ramon. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Ramon. There you go. Yeah, Ramon and Alicia. Now, and I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna be quiet. As far as that Catchup, they were both in the wrong. However, I'm willing to side a little bit more with Alicia only because of this. You gotta understand that when you come in from across the country and y'all doing a speed dating show, because that's exactly what this is, speed dating.
Yeah.
You gotta understand that when you get matched up, it ain't like we finna go off into paradise walking down the aisle the next day. It don't work that way. I still have a life. You still have a life. People make mistakes. I got schedules. You got this. You got that. Right. Timing is a hard thing to nail down, especially when we get to know each other in a short span of time. Right. And from what they said, they were only talking 3 days, and he coming to her with business proposals and all this other stuff. And whether he was gonna pay her or not, she had a point. This is a dating show. I didn't come on here to be a part of your company. We could talk about that another time, but I don't even know who you are.
Right.
We ain't got past the talking stage yet. And as far as the date is concerned, yeah, she was wrong for not responding in a timely manner. Yeah, she was wrong for hitting him up at the last 5 minutes, and when he was like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't even at the date. I was at the crib watching football because she was taking too long." I understand. I respect it. However, it goes back to that thing of communication. She was wrong for not responding sooner. And he was wrong for not being more. I hate to
he didn't give grace. He didn't give grace.
Yeah, grace. Yeah. I was gonna say. Yeah, understand. Yeah, he didn't give grace. he didn't give grace. He didn't give understanding, and it became a whole lot of cattiness back and forth. And when you was like, "What is going on here?" I felt confused. I'm like, "Yeah, what is going on here?" Like, 1 minute we talking about a date, next minute we talking about a business proposal. Like, what is happening here?
So the funny part about that episode, I'm sorry to cut you off. It's just you feel me?
No, you good.
No, but I'm glad. I'm glad. One, you speak very well, and two, I've agreed with everything you're saying so far. Right. the thing about that episode, which was so funny, we had to title that episode "Y'all Are Not Gonna Like This," because the funny thing is about these pop the balloons and like the catch-ups and stuff that come out, there's always going to be groups of people that they only go along with whatever the top comments are for the entire video. And it's funny,
yes,
because whoever gets that top comment spot kind of dictates the rest of the atmosphere of the video, because now everybody goes, oh, this guy got top comment, this must be how everybody feels. And if you look at comments after that top comment, you'll notice everybody starts to copy and paste and regurgitate the same perspective based off of that top comment. I don't know why it's like that. It happens in our videos a lot too. It just happens overall on social media. Whoever has the top comment dictates how the episode's gonna go. And before me and Alex even watched the video, when we were pulling it up, we saw the top comment, and the top comment was essentially like, oh, it's the shorty's fault, she's bugging out, she did this, oh, this dude, this is what happens. And it's just like, I don't like, when we go on the reactions, I don't like going into it already picking that one side is automatically wrong at the end. If you guys watch our reactions, a lot of people can say, oh, we defend the females a lot. Somebody can say we defend the males a lot. We hold each group differently, but it's mostly, we're looking at it as if we just walked into an empty room and there were two people sitting there and we just now started hearing the conversation. You get me? We don't know if he's telling the truth. We don't know if she's telling the truth. It's just a matter of who sounds more truthful. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't operate like that.
And yeah, and this is my last comment. I promise I'm done. No, the thing about it is, and you said this in that reaction video. You said when you quoted the Bible, when you said, "Let every man be a liar and let only God tell the truth."
Right. Let only God be true.
That should speak for itself. Yeah. Let only God be true. That speaks for itself, because I'm an Israelite myself. I ain't been in the Bible as much as I should have been as of late. You know, life, things of that nature. I'm trying to get myself correct. But that aside, that's that scripture, that statement. It's pretty self-explanatory. But for those who may not fully understand it, in other words, we are all liable to flaws. We are all liable to sin. We are all liable to what's the word? Conceive some things. You know, situations, emotions, reactions. We all human. We're not perfect. You know, sometimes you hide things because you don't want to hurt anybody. Sometimes you lie because you don't feel like dealing with certain drama. There's a whole magnitude of reasons, but we don't know who we don't know who did what. We don't know who said what because we're not there. But this is all secondhand information to us. It's all about who can articulate it better, who gives more detail, who gives more what's the word I'm looking for here? Who, for lack of better words, who gives more openness about the situation? And in that particular situation, as sticky as it was, personally, me, I'm kind of riding with Shorty. I'm kind of riding with her only because how she explained it when she said I'm a little ditzy. Sometimes I forget things. Things in life happen. When you said that story about how you only 20 minutes away from your mother's house, but sometimes it takes you a whole hour, maybe two, to get there because things happen. I gotta go get this. I'm doing this. I gotta do this. Sometimes I forget. I didn't set this alarm. Again, human beings are admitted to fault. We're gonna make mistakes. It just is what it is. Give that grace and be a little understanding. Now, if things are a habit, that's another thing. Like, you know, I would have respected it more if somebody says, yeah, I'm not dealing with this person because they have a habit of being late. They have a habit of lying to me. Things like that, I understand. But when you're meeting somebody new or you're dealing with a new situation, you have to be a little more graceful than normal, just because you don't know that person's situation. But I'm gonna be quiet now. I've talked all enough. I'm gonna see this reaction.
Hey, at the end of the day,
you good, bro?
No, you're good, man. You good. At the end of the day, we not mad at you.
I appreciate, because I'm very loquacious and I'm very passionate about these things. I've had a lot to say for a long time.
And you know what? And that's why we gonna be doing these vlog talks more often, because at the end of the day, as we're building a community of people that love our reactions, we only react to stuff if we know that it's stuff you guys actually care about. Like we just dropped a video today with the Jack TV video. That video is a flop. It's only at like 200, 300 views. And it's not because there was anything wrong with the content. It was just because that's not what people want. So it's just, when you become a content creator, when you become a YouTuber, you learn that making content is fun, but you also have to remember that y'all are not making content for yourself. You're making it for other people. And if other people don't want it, it doesn't matter how good it looks, how great it sounds, how it's presented. If I don't want it, I still am not gonna look at it. But I'm gonna drag you down. If you got something to say, raise your hand again, man. But I appreciate you for being the brave soul to come up and talk his talk in the vlog talk.
Yeah.
Hey man, I do this for a living, man. I do this for a living.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna drag you up whenever you raise your hand again, boss man.
I got you.
All right. So let me see. It says move to audience.
Going crazy in the chats over here.
Oh. For some reason, it's not moving them. See, that's the thing about Discord. Can you move them, Alex?
Uno momento, por favor.
Yeah, you just right click his name and click move to audience. I don't know why it's not letting me do it. Shoot, if it don't move him, I guess he got permanent residence at the top. You feel me? Hey, we ain't even made it. Oh, and if you look at the bottom, there's a button that says leave stage. You can also click that if we can.
You said leave stage. Let me see. Is it this red button?
No, that's leave call.
No, not the red button.
It should be two human beings with the arrow pointed down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to him for coming up. So I agree with all the points he was making. So the people that don't know the context of what he was talking about with this one, it was this Catchup where the couple had this big disagreement because they had confirmed the date 3 times. The day before the date, he had texted her to see if she was going to, in fact, need a ride to the date or she was going to take herself to the date. Now, a lot of people skipped over some details with this about the fact that, one, she said that she thought she replied to the message, but she didn't. And then 2, she tried to text him on the way to the date, but by then a lot of people feel that 24 hours, if you don't respond in 24 hours, then it's over. Like, that means you're not coming.
It's a no-show. Yeah.
Which we disagreed with that take because, one, if I confirm something with somebody 3 times, knowing me as a person, 3rd time I confirm it with anybody, I'm gonna actually show up to whatever event that we have planned. But I'm gonna play a little bit of the clip so you guys have some context.
Absolutely. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Global Ambassador.
Okay, but that's not the phone call I'm talking about.
But
I'm talking
Thursday, it was set though. You're talking about from when we did the show originally all the way up until Thursday. We went back and forth, kind of trying to figure out about the date or whatever. But Thursday came and it was set 1 o'clock. I told you I had the reservation.
That's not what I'm talking about. We went back and forth and why I think you're picky.
Okay, let's hear about the call.
We just don't get along. I think that's what it really comes down to. But
so one key point that a lot of people made in this one was they didn't like how she took jabs at him throughout the episode. So a lot of people did not like the snappy comments and things that she was saying at him during the whole thing. Like, she called him picky. She tried to say little jabs and stuff like that. So how do y'all feel about it? Jade, you raised your hand. We gonna let you up here. Then we gonna let everybody up here, but please, one at a time. So Jade came up first, so let Jade talk first, y'all.
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I was one of the people that were commenting about her taking jabs at him because I felt like he was very cool and laid back and he would let her speak, I guess, and then she would speak. But at the same time, I kind of understand now that we're talking about it, I understand what she was saying because he did confirm with her 3 times. But then it just didn't make sense to me how she didn't respond a whole day later, and then you text him. Y'all supposed to be interested in each other, but you don't text him until like literally the hour up till y'all supposed to meet. And I'm like, why isn't he texting her just to confirm one more time that day? And why isn't she texting him throughout that day? Or maybe they were busy. But I was kind of feeling some type of way that she was taking jabs at him. But now I'm seeing her perspective now that we're actually talking about it.
Okay.
Right.
Alex, you got something to say?
No, I just feel like it was like low-key animosity on both sides. So if a opportunity came about where that was presented to them to say something slick, I just feel like people would just go for it regardless.
Right. Yeah. Got it. Or Cat's next. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Hi, by the way.
How you doing?
Okay.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm a yapper, so I'm trying to keep this short and simple. All right. I have two main things. All right. First things first, on her side, I get it. Okay, like I get the whole being ditzy thing, like not sending over the message, But like, I feel like if if she had just double checking, or like even on his side too, he just double checked, like, hey, making sure we're still doing this thing. Like, if they both, again, 3 days confirmation and one little forgot text should not be the end all be all of destroying the entire event, because that's kind of crazy. So my biggest thing, like when I first watched it, I was just like, why couldn't he just call her? Because I feel on her, I really empathize with her a lot, because I'm just like, if I was set on going to this thing and I just happened to forget to send one little text confirming again, even though I already did confirm it, that I was going, why can't you just give me a little bit of grace of just being like, we both have lives, we're both adults, busy people.
Mm-hmm.
I know, so everyone forgets something. No one's perfect. Only God is. So like, you can't like just completely go like, oh my gosh, like you were late, you didn't confirm. Like, nah, like come on, like if I accidentally forgot something, like give me some grace. Like let me just like I'm gonna still show up. If I give you one form of confirmation, you should know that I'm gonna show up. So like even if I forget something, give me a call if you worry. If the text ain't going through, call me. Cause like if I die, I might actually like she thought she already sent the thing. She thought she was chilling, she was grooving, and that's why she was still getting ready and stuff. But if he felt like that she wasn't communicating enough, you got to be the extra communicator, because you don't want to be petty and like, I don't know, like just doing the most essentially. I feel like he was, I don't want to use that word, but like a little sassy, only because I feel like it was petty not to just call her. Like, why is you putting all the blame on her for not responding back when you could have also just as easily called or retext to reconfirm? So that was my biggest thing. Let me not continue yapping though.
You said you had a second point. Did you wanna get that up?
Yes. Second point. For him, I get on his side, I get it. I'm a really time-oriented person, so like I am very much like, if I say I'm gonna be there at 9, I'll be there at 9, or I'm gonna be there 30 minutes earlier, because I don't do black people time. I'll be there on time.
Right.
Let them be on time. I'm on time. All right. So I also get his side, because I also am in the same exact way. Like my dad was a Marine. Okay, time is very important. Can't waste a minute. Can't waste a second, because you never know what can happen. You'll never know what's gonna happen today. You never know. So like I get that. But then again, in my mind, I'm just like, why did you just call her? Like, that was my biggest question the entire time I was watching on his side. I'm like, why did you just call her? Just call her. Just call her. Just call her. Like, why did you have to be all like, I'm not going to show. I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to watch the game. And
he didn't even go.
Just come up out of nowhere.
He stayed at home.
Just, Yeah, he stayed at home. Yeah,
he stayed at home.
He stayed at home. Like, why stay at home when, like, I feel like that was really petty on his end. Like, I feel like that was just like, oh, well, she's not going to come, so I'm just going to stay home. Because she didn't text me back for one time, even though she confirmed. But, like, I was just like, really? Come on, dude. Like, no, can't do that. So I get both ends, but I feel like I empathize more with, what's her name, Alicia more, because I get it. If I gave you one form of confirmation the day before, and just because I forget the next day, doesn't mean that I don't want to go anymore. Unless I said, nah, I can't go anymore. So, yeah, that's it now. I'm going to stop talking.
No, you're good.
I think the phone call situation was a problem, because they kept going back and forth on whether or not it was multiple phone calls being made or just one. So I feel like him not calling if he's saying that I've already called her multiple times and she didn't answer, I feel like that would have been his reasoning for not checking to confirm the date.
Yeah, and I honestly think that I don't think she really wanted to text him. Like, you know how we're eager to like text somebody that we're interested in, like, but because she said before that day they were going back and forth, and she didn't like the fact that he was very time oriented. So she like maybe she took a break around that time and then text him on that day because she did say that he is very picky.
She went to work that night.
Her regular everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Goddess, you got anything you want to say? You were next, and then we got Monet, last but not least.
Hey guys. Yeah. So you guys made some really valid points, and I guess to add on to what you guys were saying, yeah, like I can see both ends of the spectrum. So, you know, there'd be times where like she had done, I would forget to like text somebody, but it wasn't intentional or anything like that. But I guess I kind of felt like if she noticed that, you know, she forgot to respond, then I would have at least like texted him. I can't remember if she said she texted him and said like she was sorry that she didn't respond, or she just texted him and said like, hey, I'm 5 minutes, gonna be 5 or 10 minutes late. But I just felt like she could have just mentioned like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't respond, you know, but I'm still on the way kind of thing. Or maybe he could have just called or texted her and just said, hey, are you still planning to go? I noticed that you didn't respond, but, you know, I'm on the way kind of thing. Right. So I feel like, you know, on both ends, they could have reached out. I know they confirmed 3 times, but like from my experience, I know a lot of people are pretty flaky and they'll say that they'll go and then, you know, they end up just not responding back. So I guess he was just quick to assume like, oh, you know, she's just not going, so I'm not gonna bother. But yeah, I just feel like it was kind of immature to just assume, but just kind of reach out again. And if she didn't answer that actual day, then, you know, just let it be. But dating nowadays, it does seem very complex, like someone said in the chat, because there's just always so many different layers of people just not willing to compromise or just willing to seek people out. So I don't know, that was just my personal opinion about everything. And I don't know, I just thought it was weird how she was just like, oh, I'm 5 to 10 minutes late, rather than just saying like, oh yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, but I still plan on meeting you there kind of thing. So that's what I would have done.
Right. Okay, Monet, it's your time to shine, superstar. Yo. What's up, Gengi?
Thank you. Feeling the love. I just want to say I don't see, like, I can't agree with neither side, because I was rewatching the episode, like when y'all did the catch up and everything. I was rewatching the episode and everything, and to be completely honest with you, like they seemed dysfunctional from the start. Like I didn't really see those two matching up. Period, because he just seemed very particular, and on top of that, that entire episode was just crazy, especially with the Brooklyn Nets guy, and then the one guy saying that she looked like the like he was somebody he could take her up top to. Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, first off, like you don't say that in public. You don't say that on social media, and you dang sure don't say that to no woman's face. You don't do that. But that's neither here nor there. But I just felt like they more matched because it was sort of out of obligation, seeing as everybody popped on her already and she wasn't really a fan of everybody else. And then on top of that, he seemed very like type A, and she's just more of like a go with the flow kind of gal, like doing her thing, making her own moves, very headstrong. Like in my honest opinion, they're both very headstrong people. And I'm not saying 2 headstrong people can't go together, but those 2, absolutely not.
Okay, that's
fair. I was thinking the same thing too.
Right. Duty, welcome back, man.
Let's hear what
Oh, okay.
I do kind of have one thing to say, but if anybody else has something to say,
we got another baton.
I was gonna say a couple things. Number one, buddy that said, yeah, she looked like something I would take myself up top to. Dude looked like a wannabe Benny the Butcher. For you to say that you a barber and you came up there with them ugly mutton chops and them Tims, I don't know whether he was on a dating show or whether he was at like a motorcycle club. I didn't understand. I didn't know what was happening there. Second of all, when I don't know who said I don't know which one, somebody said something about why dating is so complex. To add on to that, dating ain't even complex. Dating is in the toilet right now, and the reason why is because in so many words, everybody's entitled, everybody's damaged, everybody's bitter, everybody's just I made a poor decision with my dating choice back in high school or in college, and ever since then I haven't gotten over it, and now I'm going to equate everybody I meet going forward to that said experience if something doesn't go my way, because we all supposed to think that when I get with this person, ain't supposed to be no problems, ain't gonna be no disagreements, yada yada. No, this is not a Disney movie, people. This is not a fantasy land. There is a thing in life called adversity. Get used to it.
Right.
If you're not ready for it, if you are not ready for it, I suggest you go in your house, go in the attic, close the door, and remain there. Because guess what? It's gonna be there all the time. Guess what? And you know what else? And here's a little something else. You think dating is hard? No. Wait till you get married. Wait till you have to deal with that person 24/7, 365 for the rest of your life. There is a reason why the saying goes, till death do us part. You understand that in life, no matter how successful you are, no matter how well together you are, no matter how much you think you might have figured everything out, you are nowhere near close. There's always going to be more. There's always going to be more. So with that being said, go out here, date with intent, find somebody that is to your liking. If they are not to your liking, do not bother. Just don't bother. It's real simple. I don't care if the reason is because they wearing red shoes and you don't like red shoes, or if they have a disposition you don't like. I don't care what the reason is. If you don't like that person, don't even have a second thought. Just leave it alone. Because when you try to compromise, which a lot of people don't want to do, that's another reason why dating suffers today, because people do not understand what compromise truly is. When you are not ready to compromise, or you can't compromise, it's going to go downhill.
So I got a question. Yes. I got a question, right? Because you just said something. You said something that I stress it in our videos, but I don't think it clicks to a lot of people about like relationships and stuff like that. But you just said something very, very key, because there's two things that happen when this word comes out, the word compromise. Now, for men, when they hear compromise, a lot of men immediately tag it to, oh, so you're simping. And then if you hear a woman hear anything about compromising, you hear a lot of women chime in and say, oh, you compromising to him? Oh, you're a slave. So in dating, I want to know, everybody that's here and everybody in the chat, what is compromising to you? What is compromising? Because it seems like the internet don't know what compromising is. So all right, we gonna go Goddess, we gonna go Monet, we gonna go Duty, we're gonna go Jack, and then we're gonna go Cat, and then Jade. That's how we gonna go in that order. Okay. So Goddess, go ahead first. You was already talking. Go ahead. You might as well talk your talk.
Okay. I guess personally, I feel that compromising means that you are taking into consideration the other person's feelings, interests, opinions, without letting it get to a place of turmoil. So pretty much just willing to hear the person out, but also at the same time, it's like you kind of have to put your needs to the side in a sense, because it shouldn't always be just about yourself. You know, you have to, of course, seek happiness in the relationship, but you just have to put your difference aside at certain points and be willing to share your life, your goals, visions with that person also. So that's what I think compromise is about, just finding the middle ground, pretty much, to sum it up, you know, without losing yourself. You still should have a sense of yourself, but also be willing to have a balance. So
I think that was well put. And for this to be your first time speaking, Goddess, I want you to know you're doing very well. So don't feel nervous. We all human beings. You're good. Okay.
You've been in the chats before. She's been in VC.
Yeah, but it's different when people get recorded. I understand it. Who was next?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm cutting y'all off. I'm just trying to keep everything organized. Who was next?
We don't remember the order.
I think it was Jade and then me.
I was last, but okay.
Oh,
the last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
Yeah, listen.
Look.
Okay, so you want to go or I'll go? It don't. Okay, so
it's up to me. You go ahead.
Okay.
Everybody want to talk.
Compromise to me. Well, I was married for 8 years, and I experienced positive compromise and toxic yet fear-led compromise, meaning like I was compromising things that I shouldn't have, and then I experienced good compromise where I was a submissive wife and I understood that being under his headship, his leadership, there were certain things that he was doing where I had to sit back and let him do those things. And so compromise to me is first self-evaluation in the situation. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. So me thinking about my perspective, his perspective, and saying, okay, do I need to let down what I'm thinking about because his way is better, or I really don't know how to explain it, but compromise. I'm sorry, compromise basically to me is just letting down your will for the betterment of the situation or what y'all talking about, and coming to an agreement together, seeing whose situation or whose decision is the best and what we should go with, and go from there. Basically.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
That makes a lot of sense too.
What I like to tell people, if you guys notice when I do my reactions, when I have a struggle of giving a definition of something or trying to break it down, the best thing I do is I'll make an example or a metaphor. I'll give it like a scenario of, hey, if we're on a boat and we both see the leak, I have some plastic, but I see you have a plank of wood. Hey, compromising is saying, I know I need this plastic for something else, but right now, to stop us from sinking, I'm willing to take your piece of wood and use my plastic to tie over so we can seal up this hole until we make it to land. And then that's when we can split it back up and do what we got to do. That's what I define it. That's how I would give an example of it. You get what I'm saying?
Can I try again? Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
Go ahead.
Try again and give an example?
Go ahead.
Okay. So an example from my ex-marriage was we had got separated for a period of time and then came back together. And me thinking in my head, he wasn't ready. But when he came back, he told me, oh, I read a book and we should do this as far as like conversation to have good communication. At first, I was like, nah, I don't really trust you. I don't really know what's going on. But I had to let my will down. I had to let go of that hurt and pain and go with basically like what he was saying. He would want to go to seminars and like little group meetings to basically have better communication with each other. And that for me was huge compromise. It was hurtful, yeah, but I knew that it was for the betterment of our marriage at the time.
Okay. No, that's respect. That's respect. Okay. Monet, you up to shine, my friend.
Awesome.
What is compromise to you?
when I think about compromise, I think of two things. I think of, well, actually three. One, I think of what's the mutual problem that needs to be solved.
Okay.
What's a mutual solution? And then respect. I think of respect because when it comes to setting a compromise, you have to realize that you have your boundaries of what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, as well as the other person. So you realize that, okay, yeah, we have this problem, but like we need a way to solve it. But I know what I'm not willing to do or what I'm not capable of doing. And it's hard to find a compromise. Like I think about this one guy that I had issues with because we were like talking or what have you, and I wanted to see him more often and spend time with him because I felt as though like all of our talking and all of our interaction was all over the phone and was all online, which I don't really have a problem with. But when we live in the same state and you're like 20 minutes away from me, you mean to tell me like there's not something we can't do? Like, be so for real. Like, I was like, look, I will freaking give you gas money. Like, I don't freaking know, like, what do you want me to do? Because it's like, there's something we could do. There's something we could do here. There's something we could do here. There's something we could do here. And none of them cost money. All you got to do is drive. I will give you gas money for it. I will buy you food. I will make you food. Like, what is it that you want? So that way, like, you know, I could give you something and you can give me what I want. And it just, well, one, I just realized that it wasn't going to work because, like, how we live in the same state and you mean to tell me you can't do a 20-minute drive to come and pick me up so we can go out and do something? Yeah. And you talking about something, you want to make me your wife and you want to, nah. You can't make me your wife if you ain't willing to drive 20 minutes to come see me and do stuff. You crazy.
Let's not get too deep in the
sorry, my bad.
Not too deep in the Lord now.
So deep. I had to, no, listen.
We gonna open up some doors that we ain't wanted to open up. We gonna open up some doors.
Listen. I had to talk to God about that one because I'm
talk to God, put it on him.
Compromising. Like, what am I not doing? But then I realized I wasn't the problem. But that's not the point. The point is, when it comes to compromising, you have to, one, realize what this person is willing to give up and what they're not willing to give up. Mm-hmm. And you also have to think about, one, what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up as well. So I feel like when you're able to do that, one, it shows a level of maturity. And two, it also helps you realize, okay, if I can't compromise with this person, then maybe I shouldn't be pursuing anything with this person and or continuing like my friendship or what have you. Because like, say you are dating somebody and you get to the married stage or all that, or you're thinking about getting married to them, if you can't solve minimal problems while there's no ring attached, if you can't solve big problems when there's a ring attached.
Okay.
Okay. Before we get to
sometimes, but
you be talking your talk. And at the end of the day, the beautiful part about this is because humans are so complex, and God has blessed us with our own ability to think for ourselves, and we get a lot of the way we think and we give explanations is based off of our circumstances. If you take a rich guy with millions and you ask him what compromise means versus you take a guy who never had anything and you ask him what compromise means, they're gonna give you two different definitions. It won't be the same. And that's the beautiful thing, because they're both not wrong in what they think compromise is. But before we get to the next person, I do want to shout out to the fact that there are people who are not vocal speaking, but they did give some definitions. Alana said, compromise is learning to get along with each other. Bear Claw said, learn each other's ticks, turn-ons, interest, and turn-offs. That's a good one. Snorlax said, being willing to take a back seat to another person's emotions and willing to discuss hard topics, finding footing on both sides and find mutual ground. That is a great one. That's a great example of it. And so we're gonna get to, it seems like Duty's ready, and then we got Cat, or is it Cat first? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'll keep. Okay. Because we all low key are saying the same thing. You want to know what compromise truly is? At least in my eyes, you know what you want. Boundaries, yes. But you know what it really is? In essence, it's sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you not willing to sacrifice? What do you want to deal with? I mean, excuse me. What are you willing to tolerate? What are you not willing to tolerate? When Arlette asked them, what are your deal breakers? That's a form of compromise. Also, side note, red flags and deal breakers are not the same. Similar,
No.
not the same. Red flags are, these are noticeable flaws, ticks, whatever definition you want to use that this person has. For example, KiteZz, you have said before, one of your flaws that you dealt with in the past, or whatever the case may be, was pride. You are very prideful in what you believe in, what you say, and sometimes that could go a little left and whatever, depending on the discussion, that can be looked at as a red flag. However, that's not a deal breaker. A deal breaker is, I'm not going to deal with this, period. I'm not having this at all. Cheating, I ain't having it. You have a gambling addiction, I'm not having it. You can't use your inside voice when we talking, I'm not having things like that. Those are deal breakers. But to get back to compromise, sacrifice. There is a lot of sacrifice. Marriage, it is nothing but sacrifice. Sacrifice and understanding for that matter. When you have to understand, when you make that commitment to become husband and wife under the oath of God, and you literally have to live out that phrase, till death do us part. You will spend the next X amount of years and decades learning each other, dealing with each other, going through ups and downs, hardships. Everybody always say, oh, well, me and my husband, or me and my wife, we were high school sweethearts, and we've been married together for 35 years or 40 years. We've never really had any problems. We never had lies, BS. It's like, stop. It's okay. You have adversity. You're still learning each other. You're always gonna learn something about each other. That it never stops. So, you have to understand, hey, I have these things going on. You have these things going on. I can fit this into that. You can fit this into that. I'll cut this out. You cut this out. I'll try not to do this. You try not to do that. And that's what compromise is all day long. Now, you can sit here and you might debate and still argue about certain things. Like I said, that doesn't stop because, again, another thing that compromise is, and I don't know if I'm using this word correctly, but for lack of a better term, it's the other person is basically, I don't know how else to say it, but the other person is basically intruding, if you will, on your way of life because they are now a part of your world and vice versa.
So meshing, they're like meshing.
Yes,
like
meshing. Yes, meshing.
Okay.
Yes. So what you were able to do before without, put it this way. If this is just a simple example. If I was able to go out beforehand without having to tell anybody where I was going, I can't do that anymore. I have to tell my wife where I'm going. I don't have to tell her every step of the way, but I have to tell her, hey babe, I'm stepping out, I'm going to work, and then I might be doing this and the third. I'll be back around this time. And then if something changes, call, check in.
Right.
People worry about you. Life is crazy. It's stressful. Things happen. Too many negative things are happening in the world, and anything can happen at a moment's notice. Just be willing to understand where your partner comes from and vice versa. And if there is any problems, just talk it out. You would be amazed at how much time and suffering you save by just talking civilly like adults. This is essentially what we were prepared for in life. This is what your parents, your grandparents, your uncle, your auntie, whatever, this is what they prepared you for. Compromise, and it's not even just a marriage. Compromise, it comes with life. Guess what? When you get that new job, and you have to get the schedule that they give you, like, man, I really want an afternoon. All we got is morning shift. Guess what? You now have to condition your body to get up early in the morning to make it to work on time. Guess what that is? Compromise. I gotta start watching my little cut. I don't mean to cut you off. I still want it. I want Cat to be able to jump in.
before she lose her thought.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
But once again, I agree with everything you saying. You talking your talk right now. You need to be a podcaster on me. This is the type of people you need making podcasts. Yeah, just don't be no manosphere guy.
Look, I'm working on. Man, bro, I'm trying to tell you. Look, me and my guys, we're working on music right now. There's a whole lot happening. I'm thinking about doing a podcast. It's in the works. Let's just say that it's in the works.
Okay, Kat, let's hear what you got to say. What is compromise to you?
Yeah, I had to write this down because he was spitting. Okay, so basically though, to me, like adding on to basically what everyone said, I agree with everything everyone said essentially. But another really big thing for me about compromise is mutual growth, because like when you're in a relationship, it's very important to understand that you both are still both human, and there's also something you can learn from someone else that maybe you didn't know, that maybe it's like to them. I'm trying to think of an example. Like to them, maybe it's like, oh, I didn't know that this is how I do things. But then to you, it's like, well, I didn't think I could do it this way. So like, I feel like it's really important, just so I'm not rehashing what everyone just said, I think it's really important when it comes to compromise that you both can learn from each other in order to both grow together, in order to both become better together. So that's how it makes a relationship like become like when you're like, again, building a legacy, a dynasty. Like when you start a relationship, it's going to be shaky ground, right? But like when it comes to like building longevity in relationship and compromise, I feel like it's really important for both people to be able to learn from each other in order to better each other. So that's another big factor for me on top of everything everyone else said, because they pretty much took what I was going to say. But that's another factor for me about compromise.
No, I think that was well said.
Those are all really good takes too.
And the beautiful part about it is, right, everybody has similar takes, but everybody's take on compromise is not the same. They're synonymous, they're related. We all can put it in a big bubble and say that this is all connected into each other, right? But if you look at each individual take on it, nobody's take on compromise is exactly what it is. It's all different, close but different. And I feel like that's one thing that in the dating game, as somebody who is not in the dating game, I'm married. I've been married majority of my entire adult life. I've been married, right? I haven't had much single. I got married at night. I'm engaged at 19. So it's like a lot of things that people don't get. And what I try to tell to people who are in the dating game is there's a lot of, like you guys brung up, you need to be able to mesh with people. But a lot of people come into a relationship, which is technically a mesh, because it's my life, your life combined into one. Now our stories are together. And a lot of people try to go through this story of relationship as if they are only one character in the story. They want everybody to adapt to how their character is in this story. And they think everybody else around them or everybody involved in the relationship needs to be the side character. I want to buy my first house in this, but your partner didn't give their feedback. I want to go eat this, but your partner didn't give their feedback. I want to go do this, and your partner didn't get to say anything. But then all of a sudden, you look at your partner, you guys are having an argument, and in your mind is like, well, what are you mad at? Ain't things going great? Well, guess what? In your story, yeah. But in his story, he was the only thing compromising. Man, I don't want to have my house over there, but you know what? If that's what she wants, let's do it. Man, I really don't feel like eating steak this week, but you know what? If that's what she wants, I'm gonna go do it. Oh, I don't really feel like going to visit his parents this week, but if that's what he wants, I guess I'm gonna do it. And it's that compromise. But the reason why people put so many negative stigmas on it is because we live in a society where it's the me, I, everything. It's how I want it. It's how I feel about it. It's how I think it should be. And we don't ever have things, or we don't have people in the dating game, in relationship games, that understand that you're not right all the time. Your way is not the best way all the time. Your way is not, the golden ticket out of the solution all the time. Like we even said, let every man be a liar, but only God be true. Meaning that let every man be a liar, meaning that everything that you think is truth is not truth. Everything that you think is the solution is not the solution. If you don't seek God and let God lead your thing, then you're just leading it by your own perspective. But like we said, a rich man's perspective will not be the same perspective as a poor man's. because they're looking at it different angles. But Alex, if you had something you wanted to say. No? So I'm glad we touched on that compromise part, because that goes into this episode, this catch up between these people. This is the prime example of a lack of compromise in general. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people, even if you look through these comments, right? You look through these comments, she didn't respond until 5 minutes before the date and expecting to be here. That's wild. Well, a lot of people didn't look at the fact that she said she went to work that night. She said she got off work, she slept, and got up and when it was time to go. But everybody disqualified that, right? Instagram got these chicks gassed up. You don't know this lady. She got off a job. It wasn't because she was on her phone all the way going crazy. This is just your perspective of it. But that's why the dating game is cooked, because everybody pushes these I perspectives of how I felt about it means that that's how it's got to be. So that's what this little takeaway on this episode was. If anybody got anything else they want to chime in on this before we move on, go ahead, talk your talk. I was wild in other comments. I might delete mine. It's crazy work.
All I'm saying is that it's people like that make both men and women look bad and make the dating market trash. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you could disagree with me if you want to, but as a person at my age, my lovely 19, you know, I have no desire to put myself back out there, because if that's how people are acting at their big age, they're only acting worse than mine. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave that little brownie for y'all to digest.
That's a gem.
That's a brownie.
That's a gem.
I was just about to say the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. So, yeah, thanks for taking my answer, Renee. So, okay.
Hey, we besties. We on the same wave.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm only 1 year older than you, so I understand.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I did have a quick question, because I've been hearing the word sassy a lot. In my opinion, he was being very petty, and for me, in my opinion, I wouldn't call a man sassy unless he proves to me. My question is, what is sassy in today's time? Because when I hear sassy, I'm automatically thinking that this person is calling this person that they're attracted to the same sex.
Right.
So I'm just curious, what is sassy to y'all nowadays? Because for me, I just wouldn't call a man that, because I wouldn't offend a man like his sexuality like that unless proven to me that he is that way.
So real quick, by definition, because see, I go by definition. I don't go by interpretation. But anyway, sassy really means basically just being disrespectful, just like, you know, back to talk, you know, acting catty a little bit, you know, that type of thing. It's like if you tell me something, like if you're telling me something and then I'm kind of like giving you attitude that's kind of like unwarranted, something like that. Or if there's like a backbiting response. Women have a tendency to call men sassy these days because of the fact, like I said earlier, they want you to be in agreement with them because oh well, you know, I'm a woman and, you know, you should respect my right and this, that, and the third, da, 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 da. You can't have an opinion. Basically, you can't have an opinion without there being a problem. You know, there's these double standard barriers between men and women is another reason why that needs to stop. And anyway, when women call men sassy, it's very degrading. And, you know, I hate to use that word, but I hate things that are trending. I cannot stand it. When one person says something and it blows up, everybody named I'm gonna start using. A man doesn't agree with this. Oh, he's sassy. Oh, he didn't do this. Oh, he's sassy. Oh, he wasn't looking my way when I was looking his way. Oh, he kind of sassy me. Like, you know, just a whole lot of just trivial things, and it blows my mind. So, I get real tired of women calling men sassy for basically no reason.
So
Sassy is really just
yeah.
blatant. If you ask me, it's blatant disrespect. That's what sassy is.
So sassy by definition, because I'm gonna get it from because I think you got a phone call or something, okay? But sassy by definition means lively, bold, full of spirit, or cheeky, right? And the sad part about definitions nowadays is because like he said, when words are trending, we tend to take the word and Alec, me and Ox, it's crazy because we had to talk about this, how words get like, I don't want to say extrapolated because that might not be the word, but they basically, the good connotation of the word gets ripped apart for the new way or usage of the word. But like, you're cheeky, right? If you want to break it down and look at what does cheeky mean, people impudent or irrelevant or typically in an enduring or amusing way of something pleasurable, consumed or done unplanned, rather self-indulgent, aggressive, or potentially dangerous. So there's so many variations for it, but in the content creation world or in this YouTube dating world, I equate sassy, the uses of sassy, to the same way that men label women masculine. I feel like it's just another word of calling somebody feminine. You call somebody sassy.
Yeah, that's.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was gonna say I agree. Like when I think of the word sassy, when women refer to men as sassy, and I've done it before, and I had to apologize to Jay about it. And I didn't understand the weight of the word because I was like frustrated in how he was acting, and it felt as if he was coming off a little flamboyant, even though that's still wrong. That's how I took the word, as someone acting flamboyant.
Right. So, but yeah, that's what sassy overall. It has become the new word of it. It's become the copyright safe word to use. Like rather than you like it used to be growing up, is whenever men when men would complain or when men would have like an attitude or my boys would say something, growing up the response would be like, stop acting like a little B, right? You acting like a female, you acting like a B, you acting like that. And nowadays, because people can't go on platforms and say, oh, you acting like a little B, because that's fighting words now. Those are officially fighting words now. What is the next thing that somebody can do to make you feel less than? It's a way of emasculating you. So it's like, oh man, you supposed to be this big macho man, but you up here arguing with these females, bro. You sassy, bro. It's gonna sting because now you just emasculated me in front of people. You just ripped off my little armor of manhood because you just put my manhood in question. You called me sassy. All right, what is my rebuttal? If a female calls me that, oh, if I'm sassy, then that just must mean you masculine. You don't know how to be a woman. You masculine. It's gonna sting all the same. And it's both. Honestly, we need to stop using those words at each other. Like I used to call people. I used to call people sassy. Oh, go ahead. Y'all go chime in. I've been rambling. Go ahead, chime in.
I was going.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Okay, really quickly, yeah, I was gonna say the same exact thing. Like I think, first of all, I want to say there's nothing new under the sun. So,
Right.
and I always, from me living 32 years of my life, I've seen trending things just go over and over again, and literally they have a temporary time on them. And I'm like, okay, maybe sassy is just another word that these young folks put out that is trending right now. And I really think that it should be used properly and not towards men and women to degrade them. Also, I think people are forgetting that men are in tuned with masculine and feminine. Men are real people and they do have feelings, they do cry. And just the fact that these women are coming on these platforms and saying they want this, and this. I want him to be gentle. I want him to be kind. All these things, but you're still forgetting that. Okay, yes, he is those things, but he's also a man, and he is going to be both sometimes. And so I just think those words need to be used very is the word loosely, or I don't know, just Just don't use
specifically. They need to be used they need to be used in the context that they were created for.
Yeah.
What I was getting ready to say is real quick. You know what's funny? I just thought about it. You know what people were saying? We know what word was trending before Sassy? Zesty.
Zesty.
And it wasn't that long ago. You notice how people you notice how people stop using Zesty and started just using Sassy? You see what I'm saying? This is why I hate things that are hot topics. I hate water cooler conversations. And in case people don't know what water cooler is, it basically just means hot topic. It is hot topic.
Scuttlebutt.
Yep, scuttlebutt. Gossip.
Yeah, gossip. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, gossip. There you go, gossip. So when Joseph went on there, Jay, and even Braylon's another example. They had very piss poor attempts to clap back at the women because they had saw the show before and it was like, oh, all these women coming at the men for bogus reasons. All right, cool. When it's my turn, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna just let them have it. And in context, I can understand that, and to some degree, I can even respect that because I'm an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth person. Me personally, it's fair game. But the problem with their approach was they did it to people who didn't deserve it. That was the problem. Like they were just out here just blaming people down for no reason. Like, it was uncalled for versus the people they should have done it for. Even though that's not the platform for you to go on there and do. We are not supposed to tear each other down. Right. I don't understand what's going on there. And black people seem to be the only people on earth who have this thing where we got to tear each other down because of some superficiality that we have with each other. Like, you not tall enough, and if I was to bring you home to my parents, they'd be disappointed in me. You got too much weave. Look like you got a mop on your head or something like that. Just why are you making it a point to go on a public platform and shame people? Like, why? So, like, me personally, I couldn't be on Pop the Balloon because me personally, I stopped the show. I stopped the show in a second. I'd be like, hey man, I don't know you don't know me, but check this out. You can do one or two things. You can either apologize to me or you can see me in the backyard because those are fighting words where I come from. That's why I couldn't go on a show like that. I couldn't do it personally.
I feel like with black people, it gets broadcasted more. I feel like every race has gone through their fair share of like being very critical and scrutinizing each other and stuff like that. But for black people, because we are somewhat the heart of entertainment for all people, it gets broadcasted a lot differently than other races. Go ahead,
Cat. After Cat, I'm gonna move on to the next part.
So for the main thing about Sassy, because I am in the generation that kind of made that. For at least where I'm from, it's used synonymously for women and for men. It's like being petty for the sake of being petty, but for like no reason, like no apparent reason. Like they were like Mac already brought it up pretty much. But, like people like being just like, again, tearing someone down for the sake of just being petty. Like that's how I use it. I use it for men and for women. But for lack of a better term, it is used a lot for men who seemingly, do it for no reason or do it for a reason, which I don't really agree with. But essentially, and then also another point. Yeah, I have to write that down.
Take your time. You good?
Sassy versus Zesty. The reason why both of those terms are now a thing because Zesty was just used with with people who are like the other sex, and then Sassy, again, what I'm from is just used to be like, you're being petty for the sake of being petty for no reason. Like you're being sassy. Like women can be sassy, men can be sassy. It just seems to be used a lot more with men as a way, like you said already, Mac, to demasculate them, which I completely disagree with. But for lack of a better term, I use it, at least in my definition, is like you're being petty just to be petty. Like you're doing this, like what was it? I forget the person who did it in that one Pop Balloon. Like she had like a stain on her dress or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I know you're talking about.
Pointing that out was petty for the sake of being petty. I'm like, you did not have to point that out on the live show, but you did it anyways because you wanted to, put your little 2 cents in and feel like you did something. So like,
hold on, not to cut you off, just to go with that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Dude that said that to shorty, buddy with the cowboy hat, he had a lot of moxie. He had a lot of cojones to talk about somebody with a stain on their dress. And fam, you coming on this show announcing to the world that you're a porn star and you expect to find a traditional woman, and you expect to find a traditional woman, because she should because she didn't know. But if he would have said that, if he would have said what he was, though, she would have been like, oh, so you coming to me about a stain on my dress that's insignificant, but you over here basically, selling sex for a living, and you expect everybody to be okay with that. Oh, but she would have been wrong if she would have said that, right? That's petty for petty. But,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say
know.
both men and women can be sassy, because like even when the women bring up, oh yeah, your shoes, like they're dirty. I'm like, okay, shoes can change, they can be clean. I hate the whole. That's another big thing I really hate about the pop balloons was like, yeah, they pop over outfit. I'm like, what does the outfit to do with if I like you or not? It's clothes, guys. We go shopping all the time. People have multiple sets. We're not in a cartoon. We wear the same outfit every single day. We can't change it. Okay, it's not Scooby Doo. All right, we are people in real life. Okay, I can't do it. Because every time I was like, yeah, it's the outfit for me. It's the jeans for me. They're too tight. Oh my gosh, I hate those people. Not actually.
They use that.
But you know what I mean. It's annoying.
Hold on, delightful duo. Hold on, tag team duo. Hold on, because y'all.
My bad.
No, it's because y'all bouncing off each other and y'all tag teaming. Switch. I love it. Cat, finish this up like 30 seconds because I want to let Bear Claw and Tyler also get their point. So, Cat, finish your thought up like 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Basically, sassy is just being petty, and both men and women can do it, and both people should stop doing it. That's it.
Okay, Bear Claw, go ahead, man.
Good evening. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay, perfect. Doing good, man. I'm a little on the East Coast, a little late where I'm at, but I want to speak on this topic here. So in my mind, because again, it can be used. Like, I understand what the young lady was saying about, oh, you're just being petty. I get it being used for that sake, but then there's sake where I noticed that when there's a man that's like, challenging what a woman is saying, they're called sassy. Like, you had the one guy on this past episode. I don't know. It wasn't this past episode. It was the last episode with men. This one before last. On Arlette's show, where it was the guy with I believe he had dreads in his head or something like that, and y'all highlighted it, right? It was a woman that said she didn't choose him, and then he said, well, they had all the rest of the responses I had, because she said, like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
She insulted his teeth.
Yeah.
I
was it that one?
But like,
hold on, I got it. It's all good. Go ahead, keep your point.
Guy.
I'll find it. Go ahead, keep your point. Keep going.
Yeah, guys know what I'm talking about. But there were people in the comments, like, I don't quote me. There may have been, but I could picture in my head someone saying, man, he seemed a little sassy a little bit because he challenged the women. But there's nothing wrong with men challenging women, just like there's nothing wrong with women challenging men. If women challenge men, that's like me saying, man, you a little masculine a little bit. Like when they, like the one lady, right, you confrontational. Like the one lady she was a bit aggressive, but like you could tell she had a good heart. The lady who insulted Rhino on one of the episodes, like you know who I'm talking about. Dark skinned lady, little skinny. She was the last lady to come out, and she kind of left.
Yeah, the one that went on. She went on the reunion, and she was a little. The one that she said she came out drunk, and then she was the last girl to go, and the one that they pointed out the stand.
Okay, yeah.
Again, she was standing up for herself, like again, maybe a little too out there, but I wouldn't call her masculine. I think she was in her femininity. She was just a little aggressive. But it's like the same thing when you call a woman masculine, especially calling a black woman masculine, because she's defending herself and she's standing in like her opinion. When a man is standing in his opinion challenging a woman, I just don't think it's fair to call him sassy. No, he's just standing in his opinion until what a woman said to him. Yeah, I do believe that it's a word that should be used with caution. And like, that's my 2 cents.
Bear Claw, you actually, before we get to Tyler, Jade asked you a question. She said, I've never heard of challenging a man or a woman. Can you explain what that means?
Right. So basically, like, let's say, like with the guy. Okay. I got the perfect example. I cannot remember these people's names, but my man who was the Uber, Jay Fit, my man who was the Uber driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You know who I'm talking about. people were calling him sassy because, like, now he would say rude, off the wall things, but I don't think he was sassy. But like, there were some women that were talking to him in his original episode, in the episode where he was a person that walked out onto the balloon stage, where he would be like, okay, so what do you mean by that? Okay, so like, what's masculine energy to you? What's feminine energy to you? It's like when you're challenging someone of the opposite race, to the degree of which you do it, you could be looked at as a woman that's being too aggressive or quote unquote masculine, or a man that's being too feminine because you're going back and forth. You're not going back and forth. You're just trying to state your understanding or understand what the other person is saying.
Right.
Like it's like Kite said, like, you acting like a female. No, it's okay to be in touch with your feelings, and it's okay to state your feelings as well and understand what the other person is coming from. That's what I mean by challenging. Like, you make someone feel uncomfortable in that way too, because you're being very direct with your responses. And it almost feels like you're challenging them or attacking them. So it's like, oh, he's zesty. Oh, she masculine. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
And to help your point, if you guys are able to see the screen, this is the clip that he was in reference to. It was when a lot of people had a lot of feedback for this guy specifically, because
no,
in the actual
hold
on real quick. So in the actual clip, this is just a insert of it, but he pointed out that, one, the girl asked him, like, when she was telling him why she was rejecting him and stuff like that, he asked, like, what is it? Is it the hair? What is it? And people were like, bro, just take the rejection. And then another time was when they asked him to give 3 traits that described him. And the girl said, oh, I liked the other guy's traits better. And he chimed in and said, well, they said that. You happened?
What's wrong with you?
Oh,
what's wrong with you?
Oh, let me move back down so he can have his Matt, type in the chat when you got your little situation fixed. That way we can respect. We don't want to get your privacy. But here's a clip.
No,
why not?
But, I like more of like a low cut.
What is the locks? What is the lock? Right. And it was just a matter of he did have a couple moments where he did ask them to, you know, expand more on it. A lot of people didn't like it.
Family oriented, and I would say outgoing,
empathetic, romantic, and yeah, I'd have to say leader. Like him, I hate to steal his answer, but
same things. He said empathetic, understanding, and nurturing. I'm somebody that likes to provide. So
okay, so why did we end up hopping his?
Just like, I don't know, I like the other people's answers more, like just they answered more, that's all. Okay. Because you seem very nice, like you seem.
Yeah, no, they got the same answer though. So what did you like?
I don't know.
So when he said that, a lot of people wasn't jacking that. They were like, why did he talk back? Like, oh, he should have just took it and moved on. So I get where a lot of people are feeling their type of way towards it. Now, Tyler, I know we were supposed to let you talk. So to make sure you get your opportunity to talk, go ahead. You can unmute and do your business if you're still here. You heard something.
Hello?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Okay, so I just had a quick question, you know, for you guys, the ladies, etc. On pop the balloon, when Oleg's asking like the woman why did they pop on the guys, and then you know they always say, well, he's not my type, and then when you try to figure out the reason, they always say either like the hairstyle or the clothing. I'm just trying to figure out, does that really matter when a woman looks for a man? I'm just curious because I never understand these things on why they pop on. I sometimes think it's really silly, but I'm just not understanding why they pop on stuff like that. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. So, hold on, let me see if Mac is good. Mac, you straight?
I got some.
Go ahead, Kat.
Okay. So basically, to answer your question, Tyler, it shouldn't be because it's stupid in my opinion. Like hairstyle, how someone wants to style their hair or wear clothes, like it shouldn't be a factor in choosing someone to date unless it directly, like, really, like, let's say if someone's like really out there, it like just directly contrasts with what you want in a person, right? But like, only if it's like really like the most extreme case, like people who are like the Y2K or like the extra really like gothy or like those type of people, I can't do that. That's too much for me. But when it comes to like the standard human being just wearing clothes, like streetwear, they wear their shirt a certain way, their hat a certain way, their hair a certain way, that shouldn't really matter in my opinion. It's like it's just very superficial. So then it's like, again, clothes and hair can change. And if women can change our hair as much as we want and change our clothes as much as we want, why can't men do the same thing? Like, why double standard of, oh yeah, because I'm gonna have my hair. A girl, we can have her hair in locks, and I'm putting my braids over top of the locks, and then, I'm gonna do a buzz cut, I'm gonna do a wig, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then as soon as a guy wants to grow their hair out long, have locks, or go bald, or even if they're going bald, they just shave it off preemptively because they're like, yeah, it's gonna go anyway, might as well. Or like have waves, or like do certain like different things, like have a beard, don't have a beard, like style their mustache in a certain way. Well, that shouldn't matter, as long as at least in dating, it shouldn't matter, because like if that's what makes them feel good, makes them feel confident in themselves, makes them want to go outside and tackle the world, because men already deal with a lot more than we do on a daily basis. I feel like it shouldn't matter. Like, I hate, like, the biggest pet peeve of mine when the pop balloons was when they're like, their main reason for popping is like, oh yeah, his shoes, I can't do that. Or like, oh, his pants, nah, I can't do that. Or like, no, like, or like, okay, let me stop. I'm about to go on a tangent. Let me stop. Let somebody else talk.
You good. Goddess, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add something, then I'm gonna hop off. But I feel like for me, it's really about the presentation is what matters the most, versus like, oh, I don't like your shoes. But I feel like you were saying, Kat, yes, clothes can change, but I feel like the reason for popping would be like the presentation. Like, are they really put together in a presentable manner? Just like, I think of it as, like they said, it's the first impression. You're supposed to dress to impress. So are they dressing appropriately? Because even some of the ladies that come on there, they have a lot of clothes that are, really revealing, or their dress is too short or things like that. So I feel like you have to take into consideration, not necessarily like if you like their clothes or not, but more so is it a matter of like, are they dressing appropriately for this occasion, for this manner? Because at the end of the day, it's like you said, I think it's silly too why they look at the shoes and say, oh, I don't like your shoes, your loafers, or something like that. Like, that always gets on my nerves when they say something like that, because I feel like, well, he's dressed very well, so why should it matter just because you don't like loafers, just to pop on that person? So I don't know, that's just how I think of it. Like, if I were to go into work, I have to dress presentable. I don't want to come to work showing my cleavage and all this stuff. I want to make sure that I'm taking everything into consideration, because at the end of the day, you're representing yourself. So you want to make sure that you're showcasing yourself in a good manner. So yep, that's pretty much what I'd say.
Nitro, you came up here, you got something to say, boss man?
Yeah, what's happening?
How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm alright. Like, I know I joined up here late, but just to add on to what was already being said when it comes to the fashion on Pop the Balloon, my thing is, because like you two guys are a couple, right? So you guys are married,
yes,
right? And when you see other couples or people just get together, fashion rubs off on other people that you're with. Like, you might see some, that adds on, right? So I think, just like everyone else is saying, fashion's stupid to pop on to an extent. Like how Kat was saying, the gothic look and all that stuff. Obviously, those are extremes. But if it's like light stuff, yeah, maybe you spend time with a person, you upgrade their fashion, something that you like rubs off on them, something they like rubs off on you. And you know what, progressive, you guys take on traits, likeness, and things like that. Keep it pushing. That's all I really wanted to just kind of like really add on there real quick.
Okay. No, I think that was a great take. Fashion does rub off on your partner. For instance, a lot of the style choices that I had initially when I got with Alex, she started ingraining and picking up some style choices, just like she started changing some of the clothing that I had, not because she was trying to change me. It was just more of she sees me in a way that I don't see myself, and what in her mind could look good on me, she can, as her partner, she can put that out there. So, you know.
I think like what Goddess was saying, it's not about what you have on, it's about how you present yourself in the clothes that you're wearing. Because I feel like that tells a lot about you as an individual and how you take care of yourself. If you're coming into a situation where you kind of just don't care about what you throwing on, and you know you got a blood stain on your shirt, or you got super weird obscure ripped pants and stuff like that, and your hair looking crazy, and you're not coming in your best, that's one thing. But I feel like for the most part, a lot of the people that come on Pop the Balloon, they come in very well put together outfits. They come in stuff that's not even that you would consider casual, in my opinion, because a lot of stuff I just throw on a t-shirt and some jeans. They're going above and beyond the average person, you know, to find a suitor, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. Anybody else have anything that they need to say on that point?
Yeah, I wanted to say something, if it's okay.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I want to add on to Nitro's great point about like influencing each other's fashion, right? So I'm married, I have a wife, and I noticed that when I met my wife, I wear a lot of hoodies. She wasn't really a hoodie wearer, but you know, after we had been together for so long, she started wearing hoodies a little bit. She got comfortable with hoodies. Now with her, you know, I started to match a little bit more when I went outside the house. I didn't have that much good color coordination. I put on my hoodie, put on my exercise pants. I just be out. She'd be like, "Wait a minute, you don't match." I'm like, "I need to match. I ain't pressing nobody. I got a wife now." Like,
yeah,
you know?
I say that same thing.
She's like, "No." Right. She's like, "No, you need to match. You need to look right." So she taught me how to match and color coordination. So we built each other well up off that. And I loved a lot of the Goddess's points around like clothing. You know, it's not a major factor, but it does tell you something about somebody. You know, if you're a man and you see a woman dressed a little too revealing, you know, you're gonna say in the back of your mind, like, okay, I know she's dressed like that on this show here, but how often is she dressed like that? You know what I mean? How often is she covered up? You know what I mean? Is that going to change once she's cuffed by me and I'm actually her man? She's my woman. You know, and like from the woman's perspective, when you see a guy dressed like he's walking to the corner store or walking to the gas station, well, is that how you're going to dress on the date? Like, you know, like you got to take those things into consideration. Now, with the shoes, I agree with what y'all saying. The one exception I'd make is my man's who came back on this last episode, Dapper. He had those dirty sneakers and they called him out for it. And like, it'd be different if he said that's the design, but the fact that he said, no, I've had these joints for a while. They really are.
Yeah, they did.
Even Arlette looked at him like, bro, you can't justify this, man. Like, you know, like he kind of deserved them pops a little bit off the sneaks.
Yeah.
But like, I like that he redeemed himself in this last one and came dapper.
Yeah, I thought it was the style, so I was kind of like, I don't see nothing wrong with it, you know. But a lot of people wasn't feeling the shoes, and I understand. But even piggybacking off of like how you were saying, like you and your wife are married and you guys kind of adapted each other's style. It's the same thing for us, and it kind of makes me think back to like when my mom used to say like, "Oh, you're not finna go out the house looking like that with me. Like you gotta go iron your shirt, go put the right undershirt on under your blouse, actually have something on looking, you know, act like you got some clothes."
No, I feel you.
I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, everybody tuned up in there. So it's just honestly, I believe in first impressions do matter, and I feel like the reason a lot of the men get rejected on that show about how they look, At first I used to be like, well, it's just clothes can change, but then it started clicking to me that a lot of it is the lack of effort in it, right? If you're going out there and you're going to meet somebody that you find love, you're there to find love, right? And you're told, it's the simple fact, you're given the instruction, dress to impress. Dress as if you're going on your first day. You're going on your first date as soon as this show is over. Dress your best. When I hear dress your best, I'm gonna put on some nice shoes, some clean slacks, a nice dress shirt, because that's my best. I'm bringing my best efforts forward in my dress. But you hear a lot of these people, they say dress to impress. Like he was brought up earlier, homeboy came in a black tank top, a cowboy hat, and some jeans. Really? If you was going to a fancy dinner after this, you're not coming in that. Like the other dude came in, he had some bummy kicks on. And then when a lot of people was grilling me like, Kite, you were wrong, bro. That's the fashion. That's how the shoes are supposed to be. But everybody ignored the fact that the dude on the show said, yeah, I just had these shoes for a long time. So it's like, your shoes being dirty like that is a reflection of, if you're not taking care of the things that get you to and from, and you're on all day and you're not taking good care of those, what else are you not taking good care of? If your shirts always got stains, what else always has stains? If your pants always got rips, what else always got rips? You feel me? And it's just a reflection of how you take care of your stuff is how people are going to view you take care of everything else. I've never met a person who was super clean and always organized, and then when I look at their clothes, they're trash clothes. I've never seen that combination. And it could be there, but I've never seen it. Right? So it's just a matter of, I feel like when you coming on the show, if somebody's dressed best to their best and you just don't like the color or you don't like the shirt or how it looks, appreciate the fact that they're dressed up, right? You shouldn't be rejecting them because, oh, he's wearing a lot of green and I don't like green. What does that got to do with him as a person? Oh, he's wearing yellow. I can't do dudes that wear yellow. What does that got to do with anything? Oh, she's wearing a dress. I like my women that only wear skirts. She can take the dress off and change to a skirt. You feel me? Now, if it's coming in, he came in with a throw up filled jacket with some ripped up jeans and he missing one shoe and he got 2 different color socks. It's like, bro, what happened? Like, how do I expect you to take care of me well? You can't even take care of your own presentation well. You get what I'm saying? So that's just,
I think when you look back at the show when it first came out, a lot of people weren't dressing to impress. They were dressing to get attention. And I feel like a lot of people's perceptions of like impressing nowadays, impressing to most people is what's going to get me the most attraction or the most attention, versus this is something that, okay, this looks good on me. This is, appropriate. It's casual. It's, it's flattering and all that type of stuff. I feel like a lot of people, they do stuff to get attention and get like a rise out of the internet because they know it's either going to be controversial or it's going to be a hot topic in the comments. Because how many times have you watched Pop the Balloon and a female comes out in an outfit that's way too tight, way too short, way too small, or just it don't look like it belongs in this setting at all. Right. The same thing with men.
Right. So, but now to get off the clothing, is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about as we get ready to wrap this up? Anything at all? Anything?
God is coming back.
She coming back.
I lied. I'm back.
Yep.
Okay, so, yeah, I see there's a couple guys. Okay, so I guess this may be a question for the guys, but there was one episode where it was a female. She had like I want to say it was like some kind of tiger or something print on her dress, and it was like blue. And she said something about, "Oh, I'm a alpha female with the feminine side," or something like that.
Oh,
I know exactly who she's talking about.
Like, what do y'all think about when someone says something like that? Because for me, I cringe when I hear stuff like, "Oh, I'm an alpha female," or this or that. Because it's like, what is that? What are you talking about? I don't know. I just don't understand that part. So maybe y'all can elaborate y'all thoughts on that part.
Oh, I know exactly what she's talking about too, because that's actually a very popular
You
short.
about to bring up the
Yeah,
the
I know.
short?
Yeah, I know exactly what clip she talking about, because it was a very that girl got dragged, unfortunately, but that's just the game.
It was really weird.
Yeah, she basically she says she's a feminine, masculine. I don't know, bro. She says something crazy, man. But if somebody got a take on that, go ahead and talk your talk real quick while I look this up.
I feel like for me, at least with that woman in particular, I'm like, you can't be a quote unquote alpha female and then being your femininity. Because if you take definition of alpha, I'm pretty sure that means like you're taking control, you're the one taking the lead usually on things. But if you're a woman, you're supposed to be submissive to your man and letting him take the lead. So you can't be an alpha female and being your femininity. That's a contradiction. So that doesn't make sense to me. Like either you're one or the other. You cannot be both. You can be like, you can have a job. That's not being alpha. You can have a job and like be working, but like if she thinks like having a job means alpha or like doing your own business is alpha, that's not correct. That's not the correct connotation. But saying that you're what's quote unquote alpha and it's saying that you also in your femininity doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, unless you was trying to say that being alpha means that you have like your own business, stuff like that, which that's just wrong vernacular. But that doesn't, you can't do that. You can't be both. Either you're in your femininity, doing your thing and being as a female should be, or you are, you know, you're acting like a man.
So the definition of alpha. Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm good.
So the definition of alpha, well, like a common diction, is being the most dominant, powerful, or assertive person in a particular group. So you are the most dominant, powerful, assertive person in a group. So then when you say that, it is kind of a contradiction to say that I am a alpha female, because if you're going by biblical standard, a lot of people don't. But as a woman, you are, like Kat said, submission is what God approves of from you guys. Submission. Just like God expects men to be the head of households. That's why a lot of the burdens and mistakes or things or the punishment comes from towards the man. When Adam and Eve made the mistake and Eve ate the fruit of the garden, Adam ate the fruit of the garden, who did God question first? He didn't question Eve, he questioned Adam. He said, Adam, what have you done? And when Adam said, it was this woman you gave to me, people don't realize that was Adam giving up his role and he gave it to Eve. By him refusing to take responsibility as the lead, he gave it to Eve. Then Eve said, oh, it was the serpent. So she gave up her authority because she didn't want to take a responsibility. She gave it to the serpent. Who was the serpent? Satan. And what did God do? All right, from now on, serpent, man will always bruise the head and you'll always bite at their heels till the day you die, and you'll crawl on your stomach like forever. Woman, because you did this, you're gonna have labor pains and all this, and you'll constantly have a desire for your husband, and his desire won't be with you. And then man, you lost eternal life. You lost your place in the garden. You'll always go against your wives. Your days will be shorter. You see how like it was, everybody kept playing the blame game because nobody wanted to be the one that took the fall for it. But when I heard this clip, and I'm gonna show it to you guys so everybody can see it. So if you guys tune in, you guys should be able to see it.
I wish I understood what that meant. So
basically, it's like I'm a person that like power, and I carry along like alpha man energy. I'm an alpha female that's also in tune with my divine feminine and masculine energy. So,
when I hear stuff like this, it sounds to me like there's a disconnect in reality, right? Because I'm an alpha female who needs an alpha man. Well, two alphas can't be in the same room. When you have two alphas, what do? They instinctively fight. Just like if you have an Indian tribe walk into an area where some water's at, and you have another Indian tribe walk into that area where some water at, what's gonna happen? They gonna scrap. It's our water, we want it. It's your water, we want it. It's gonna happen. You can't have an Indian tribe where there's two chiefs giving instructions to two different groups of people, but then y'all all are supposed to function as the same tribe. So when I heard this, to be honest, it just sounds like the way society has got it now, that we have a lot of women that are taught that you can be anything, you can have anything, you can desire anything, the world is yours, don't let the men hold you down. But then they want a traditional man. But you also want to operate as a modern woman but have a traditional man, which is a conflict, because the modern woman is independent. I think we said this on one of our reactions. I said, you guys want a submissive, independent person. You want somebody who is going to submit to your will and depend on you, but be independent of themselves. Well, if I provide for myself and I protect myself and I do everything for myself and I'm independent, that I don't need to rely on anybody else, why would I take instruction from you? I don't need you. But you guys are asking for independent women to submit to you, but you want her to be independent because you don't want to have to take care of her. So I want to be able to give instructions to you, but I don't want to have any responsibility for you. But when I say I'm hungry, bring me food, but go get your own food. You see how like it's that same little mindset. It's so backwards. It's like you're putting your mind in a loop trying to answer the question, and you go, what's 2 + 2? And somebody goes, 2 + 2 = 4 - 3 + 1. Okay. Why did you give me a question to my question? And then I answer that. I'm like, okay, so what is 4 - 3 + 1? Oh, 4 - 3 + 1 is 2 divided by 1 × 2. Give me the answer. Don't give me the loop. Give me the answer. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I felt about it. But if everybody got a different take on it, by all means, go ahead, talk your talk.
Somebody next.
No, I was just gonna say, good night, guys. Thank you so much. I had a good time.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you on the next one. All right, Bear Claw, go ahead. Talk your talk.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say to the guys' statement. I had a lot of thoughts, but I'll just start from the rip. Yeah, you know, as a man, you know, you like I'm old school, right? Like, you know, not too old school, but I'm old school. I have the instinctual need to provide and protect.
Right.
That's what we as men do. Like we have the instinctual need to do that. And when I hear someone say, hey, you know, I'm a woman that, you know, just fights for her masculine energy. And like I said, I tap into my feminine energy. I tap into my masculine energy. I don't know that woman personally. So this is just me generally speaking. In my mind, that sounds frustrating as heck. That sounds like you got two conflicting ideologies in your mind telling you, now do this, now do this. Like, whoa. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with standing in your femininity as a woman. Ain't nothing wrong with a man standing in their masculinity. You don't have to be toxic. You don't have to be soft. But ain't nothing wrong with standing in what you are as a man or what you are as a woman. Now, in my mind, back to what you were saying, KiteZz, I could totally agree. Like, you know, Chris Rock had a great statement when he in his last stand-up where he was talking about like his divorce and things of that nature. I think it was Tambourine, but he basically said we both can't be in the driver's seat. I can't drive while my wife drives. You know, there's moments where I can't drive all the time. She needs to drive at some points, but we both can't sit in the driver's seat. We're gonna crash. So I think the correct way to phrase something like that, I can't speak to the woman herself, but saying that you tap into your feminine energy and tap into your masculine energy, again, that sounds very frustrating internally. Now, there are some dudes out there, ain't many, you know, they like a woman to control them and tell them what to do, you know. You know.
Yeah.
Some dudes out there like that. But, you know, that ain't the majority. And again, if a guy was out here saying like, hey, you know, I stand in my masculine energy, but sometimes I stand in my feminine energy, it'd be nothing but pops in this arena.
True.
So again, when you're hearing that again from like a woman saying that, it sounded a little crazy. you know, and I ain't calling her crazy, but it sounds a little like frustrating as heck and confounding, at least to me.
Right.
No, that's fair. Anybody else?
I'm about to go on a tangent again, so I'm hoping.
At this point, we wrapping it up. So everybody get y'all closing statements.
Right.
Talk your talk. We wrapping it up.
Last tangent. I feel like if she didn't say alpha, if she meant to say like businesswoman, because you can be a businesswoman and be like, you know, like, because I do like with my job, like I'm a market manager, like I do market managing, right, for my job, but I'm still feminine, right? But I don't consider myself like a quote unquote alpha just because I'm a businesswoman. But you can be a person in business and not being, you know, a quote unquote alpha, because I'm not, again, being feminine, being in your femininity, quote unquote. Like you can still be in your femininity and still, you know, do business and stuff like that. But like the fact that she used the word alpha was like I feel like if she just used a different word to explain, like maybe, I mean, I can't really speak for her, but I think it's just the fact that she used the word alpha instead of like, yeah, I'm a bit, you know, like, I'm, you know, you're a person like in business, or like you're a person who, you know, takes care of their own, or like quote unquote independent or whatever. But I don't know. It's just she used the wrong words. Like she used businesswoman because I consider myself a businesswoman, but I don't consider myself like an alpha or like a dominating person. I consider myself like, yeah, I do this for my job. That's my job though. I'm still feminine and I'm still a woman. I'm still gonna be submissive to my man and all that other stuff. So it's just like, it's just a really annoying thing with this generation of just like people using words and not understanding the connotation behind it or the intention behind it, because like when they say it doesn't make sense to people, and it's like, do a little more research on like how you want to label yourself, because labels, when you're speaking about yourself to someone else when they don't know you, can be like a make or break with if they're gonna, you know, want to be with you or not. And like you saying that, yeah, I'm an alpha, I'm in my masculine energy, my feminine energy. I was like, girl, what the heck did you just say? Like, no.
Word Olympics. You figure out what I just said. It didn't make sense to me. It ain't gotta make sense to you. Figure it out.
I'm sorry. Exit stage left.
That's how I feel too. Yeah.
I can't do it. Because when I first heard that, I cringed so hard. I was like, no, this is what we're not going to do. Like, I'm in the same age bracket as you. No, I can't do it. Right. So that's it. That's the last tangent.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything that they would like to chime in?
Yo.
Go ahead.
So, I wanted to actually bring up when Goddess was talking about, you know, the alpha female and what we liked as a man about that, or if we even liked it at all.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Brittany from the latest episode, right? She's heavy into sports, so I would say she's probably what these females on Pop the Balloon are probably trying to seem like, because she had that strong energy, right? But I could be biased too, because she also reminds me of my grade school gym teacher, right?
Okay.
Right, heavy into sports. So you got, you know, when you're in sports, you grew up in sports, you got to have that strong energy. You got to be a team player, right? And during grade school, she eventually got married, and her husband came into the school. Well, I'm talking about my gym teacher, and he had that same type of energy, right? So he had that same type of energy. So I can see where someone's like alpha female, resting the feminine, but again, she didn't have to say it. I just kind of felt that as she was talking and she was getting to sports. So also hopefully makes sense, but I feel like everyone needs to play sports, because her as a female, I feel like maybe she'll submit to her man and be that team player, but also she's not giving up any of that energy that she carries. When her man's gone, she knows how to bring that energy, right? So sports is fundamentals. Team sports, basketball, baseball, whatever kind of team sports that it is.
Right.
That's just what I want to kind of pitch in there.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I ain't see nothing wrong with it. All right, y'all. Anybody else got anything else to say while we wrap this up? This first ever Flock Talk. Any other comments? Anything at all?
I just want to say I really appreciate this conversation. I learned a lot, and I love you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Now I'm reading the chat. Yeah, everybody did really good. I feel like the more we do this, the better, and we'll be able to like be used to all of us talking and stuff like that. Everybody had really good takes, so I can only imagine like what the comments are gonna look like once this gets posted, because I feel like a lot of people have the same sentiments that everybody described. So it's just, there's only so much you can say in a YouTube comment, and when like you're reading the comments, we try to like envision like the emotion behind it when we read them out loud, but it's better to hear it from you guys just as much as seeing it.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody, now that we gotten used to this, everybody got a taste of this. We're gonna try to do this at least once a week. That way we can keep this community thing going. Hopefully this will open the door for more and more people. Like Shawty Doo-Wop, we saw you type it in the chat. You had a lot to type. So maybe next time you'll actually, join in. Driven Black Girl, I seen your content. I liked your content. Maybe next time you'll muster up and you'll want to say something. But it mostly is to form that we're not YouTubers that like you guys are to follow what we say, and no matter what, if Kite and Alex say it, then we all need to feel this way. No, at the end of the day, I'm not God. I'm less than everybody. You get what I'm saying? I'm not built to be better than anybody. Dude, we only been YouTubing and at this level for only a couple months. So it's like at one day we could wake up tomorrow and each one of y'all can have a channel bigger than us. So at the end of the day, let's just be a community. Let's be cool people that can vibe, have a conversation, share videos, grow together, help each other, pray together. That's our whole perspective for all of this. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can do this every time.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like when you look at YouTubers, people now look at YouTubers as like, or content creators as like celebrities and stuff like that now. We're not trying to be on that status. We're trying to show that you can be a regular average person and still do content, still have a good community, still be honest and genuine in who you are as a person without having to fake it to get the sponsor deals, to get the million subscribers, get it organically, get it fair, and get it right and morally. So at the end of the day, we just want to vibe with everybody. We want to bond with everybody. There's too many content creators that are not in tune with their communities. They just post because it's income. But, for us, it's engagement more than anything.
Yeah, and I came back up because I wanted to ask you guys this question when we first started. I'm a content creator as well, and I had stepped back for a little bit on my main platform because I felt like it wasn't genuine. But KiteZz has said how sometimes we have to push out content that is that our audience likes, and I kind of wanted you to just explain that a little more and maybe give some advice, because it was kind of hurting me because I would put content out that was genuine, that was from me, that I worked on, and I was hoping that people would like it. And I mean, a few people did, and some people be like, it's not about the views, it's about this and that. I'm like, yeah, I love y'all, but I do want my content to do better. So I just wanted you to touch on that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I've seen your content.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, don't look at the YouTube.
Oh,
we still working on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Facebook. I'm mostly on Facebook. I have 200K followers there, but it's like really it's really just like 100 to 300 people that really watch me.
Yeah. So, if I don't know if you, I broke it down a little bit when I first got into content. I started off like every other kid. I want to play video games. I think I'm funny. I'm going to put this out. And I was doing that. Alex is my witness. I was putting out my little gameplay videos with my group of friends. I thought we were the people. And it was nothing more heartbreaking than to sit there and think I really put something great out, and then you get one view. And then you try it again, like, oh, it's just the first time. It's because nobody knows me. And then I watch these thousands and thousands of YouTuber guides that tell me the same sentence every time. It's all about consistency. And I was consistent for months and months and months and months and didn't see anything. And then one day I got tired of it, so I scrapped it. I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. I got into this thing where I used to like anime, and I'm like, dude, like I wish I could make like music videos because I like this song. When I think of this song, I think of this anime. And I started making music videos on stuff. And it's crazy because when I started doing that, I blew up really fast on Instagram. And I went from having 30 people watch my stuff. I did that one video, I immediately shot up to 1,000 people, just like overnight. And it was just like, it was 1,000 people that followed me, but my video was having 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 of me just making a music video. And people are like, oh, I felt this, like, oh, this was so deep. So it turned into a thing where I got kind of like addicted to the feeling of like, look at what I created. Do you guys see how good this looks? And people gassing it up. Yeah, this, to a point. I was doing that so much when it was time for me, like, oh, I was like, oh, these people love me. They love what I'm doing. Now I can put my gameplay things, the things I really want to do out there. So here's my gameplay stuff. And when I threw it out to the audience, half of them were like, oh, this is cool too. But then the other half was like, man, get back to the AMVs, bro. Go back to the music videos. Like, I don't want to see that. Go back to the music videos. So then I went back to the music videos again. Now I tried it again. Yeah, I don't want that. Go back to the music videos. And then I was like, oh, I can be slick. I can start trying to convert people. So now I'm gonna make the gameplays and put the music videos in the gameplay. Bam, did it. People like, I love this, I love this, I love this. But then I started running into the big issue. The reason why people were loving it because they wanted to hear the music and the visual was just to go along with the music. But the problem I was having was this wasn't my music. I'm not the one writing the lyrics. It's not mine. And then I got hit with my first ever copyright claim. And I thought, oh, I'm dealing with Christians. I'm dealing with content. These musicians don't have fan bases. And they're thanking me like, oh, Kite, hey, shout out to you. Thank you for pushing my song. I love you. And it was crazy because one dude showed love to me and then copyright strike me. But it wasn't his fault. It's because he got a deal to Sony. When he got his deal to Sony, I got copyright strike because he's no longer independent. He belongs to Sony. And I started thinking, I'm like, how am I supposed to be a successful content creator if I rely on other people's stuff? I have all this creativity, but if I don't attach the music or something, people won't appreciate the creativity. And it got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm making content that I think I love, but I'm not having fun doing it no more. And now it got to the point where I was slugging myself to create a video because it was what my audience wanted. It wasn't what I wanted. And so at the point, there got to a point where as we were working in our job, I was going a little deeper. I was feeling like my creativity or my purpose was so stagnant. I started feeling like I wasn't achieving anything and I felt like my life was wasting away. And so there was moments where I felt like my creativity was so stifled because one, I'm creating stuff I don't want to create. And two, I can't get bigger to the point where I can turn this into a career because the stuff I do want to create, there's a wall in front of me. And so, and now I'm sitting in this horrible job. I'm sitting in this job and I want to go home and make a video, but I'm stuck here working 12 hours. And I was just like, bro, it got to a point, like I was telling Alex, like, I don't know. I don't feel nothing no more. Like, this is not how I'm supposed to live. I don't feel like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to have nothing. I completely stopped posting on my social media. If you look at my Instagram now, my Instagram is still under the damage of the fact that I let that whole audience just die. I just completely stopped. And even right now, those videos still get circulation. One of the videos is still at 1 million, almost 15 million, and I don't even do it no more. And so when it got to this YouTube stuff, I was like, bro, why can't I blow up on TikTok? Why can't I blow up on Instagram? But for some reason, these YouTube people, they do not want me. Like, what is up? Is it me? But then somebody had to break it down to me. It's like, it's not that it's not you and it's not that the product that you have. It's just, you got to remember, YouTube is already established. So there's already a content creator that you have tried that you're trying to get to They've already done it and they already got the fan base of it. So now you have to start looking at, there's content you can be making, but now you got to look at the audience of people that are eating that content, digesting that content. And you start looking at people as your competition and look at it as like, dang, why is he popping off? And I made that same video. He made the video just like I did, but my video's not blowing up. What is wrong with me? But then there's nothing wrong with me. You got to start looking at all the details behind how they do what they do. Then it started with, my sister gave me one bit of advice, was the best advice. She said, Justice, you do all these inspirational music videos and you do all this stuff and you have a wife and people love the fact that people love seeing Black love and your wife is just as interested in your stuff you do. Why don't y'all try doing something together? And so I'm like, oh man, all right, cool. But then I realized, one, I'm able to have fun doing what I'm doing because Alex is fun. When me and Alex do stuff together, y'all don't see in the recordings, there are moments where we clash each other in the recordings, but Alex is genuinely fun. So when me and her be in here, there's stuff we cut out of videos because we laugh for so long, it's not worth putting in the video because it's like, it's gonna take away from the video. And so when I say you got to start making stuff that people want, it's not about how you want it to be. It's not to say that you got to be a drone and start sacrificing and start throwing your stuff away. If you want to create content about your children, you want to show how good you are as a parent, look at the audience that you're aiming at. You got to look for the people that you're aiming at. If I want to make content about me cleaning houses, I need to look, who are people watching about cleaning houses? Then I need to look, what is the significant things that I'm seeing that these people in these house cleaning videos are doing? What formula is it? How long are they showing a transition of me scrubbing? One dude's scrubbing a counter for 30 seconds, but at that 30-second mark, he's now washing a shed. Well, why did he only do it for 30 seconds? Then you got to look at how the audience recept to. Oh, when you wash that shed at 30 seconds, oh man, that was just what I needed because I got a shed back here. You got to start looking at the people that you want to start entertaining and look at why they're watching that and start incorporating your ideas in it. Pop the Balloon was easy for us. We give away relationship advice to people all the time at our job. The same advice we give y'all is the same advice we give people at our job. But the beautiful thing is, a lot of y'all come inside because a lot of y'all have things that y'all wish y'all could say, things that y'all think about, or a lot of people flock to us because of our faith in Christ. And a lot of people say like, well, the dating game as a Christian is tough. But now there's a Christian couple that's telling you, hey, this is not that tough. Stop looking at it this way, look at it this way. And we started molding more and more into what the audience wants. So now we drop videos, like I said, we drop videos when you guys request it all the time. But we know that there's specific videos you guys really want. And if it's gonna be easy for us that we don't have to compromise, we're gonna make the videos you guys want. We know you guys love watching Pop the Balloon on Wednesday. When our let drops, we know there's a group of y'all that as soon as it drops, y'all like, oh, I need to see a reaction to this. So what do? As soon as Wednesday hits, it don't matter where we at. Hey, Pop the Balloon just dropped. Make sure we need to be the first one to drop it. We need to be the first one to drop it because people, we know our audience, they're gonna wanna see it right then and there. Go do it now. And we have fun doing it. So I don't know if I made a lot of sense. I know I went on like a long tangent, but find the audience that matches what you're trying to put out, and then look at your competition and start making content now that you understand the audience. Look at what attracts them and then do your thing. So I don't know if that made sense or not.
Yes, made perfect sense. Thank you so much. That really helped me, and I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Anything else you want to say, Alex?
No, you pretty much. I don't think there's anything for me to say. No.
Okay. Well, I thank everybody for tuning in to the first ever Flock Talk. I thank you guys. It is getting late. It will be uploaded so everybody can see it tomorrow and do whatever. So I will drop it. I just want to say I thank you guys for all the support you guys have constantly given us on the channel, because at the end of the day, we are just two regular people, but you guys make us feel special. My best advice and the only advice that if you take any advice, the only advice is put God first in everything you do. It doesn't matter even if you make secular music. I know people call it out. Put God first even in that, because he will create a way that you can get out of secular music and still use your talent somewhere else. Put God first in everything. Consult him even if you feel like you're conflicted. Consult him regardless, because he can figure out ways to get you to that next place where you don't have to compromise your faith no more. So that's the best advice I can give. I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I love you guys. Y'all be safe. All right. Thank you for joining Flock Talk. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.